right. It is a beautiful Wednesday here in North Carolina. It is actually pretty hot. We had mid-70s today, which is what people call fool's spring. It's not actually spring, it's just the end of winter when it starts to get really, really hot. We still have another frost coming, guaranteed. It's tough because I'm really trying to renovate our lawn, and the lawn doesn't like growing in freezing weather, obviously, but it loves it right now. So it's getting all green and it's excited and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. But then it's just gonna get all angry in a little bit. This weekend's supposed to get down to the 50s. Probably next week we're gonna get down to the 40s, maybe even the 30s. And yeah, in the 20s and 30s overnight. So it's definitely not spring yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Some of these days remind me of how beautiful it can be here in North Carolina until the pollen starts. The pollen in April is nasty. It is the worst place to ever be if you have allergies or anything like that. It literally rains down yellow snow here. So in April, first week of April or so, every single year, we'll get all of these beautiful pine trees and they just start pollinating everywhere. And you will see, first you'll see maybe the last week of March, you'll see little traces. If you have a black car or a dark blue car, you'll see little traces of yellow on your car. You're like, huh, that's weird. A little dirt. Yeah, it's a little dirty. I should go get it washed. And then it starts getting caked on. And you start seeing clouds of these pollen swirling, and it's disgusting. It's all over the ground. We bring in our lawn chairs and anything on the porch. We bring all that stuff in last week of March until like middle of April because it's just disgusting. And then we have people come out in last week of April, first week of May with a power washing, and they wash the house because it's just full of gross pollen. It's disgusting. But other than that, North Carolina is a beautiful place. I do hope that you will come out and visit me. We're having the Crowder Comp. I think it's in April 24th, maybe. It's going to be another great event here. It is based in Raleigh. We're based in Durham. It's about 30 minutes away from the event. But we're going to have a special event here at the warehouse like we did last year. Would love everybody to come by. We'll be opening up the warehouse. We'll have the ramps in the front so that you can go skate. It's going to be a really fun place, but we'll give you more information on that as soon as we get a little closer to the event. But yeah, North Carolina is amazing. If you have an opportunity to swing by, would love to see you, would love to meet you. Great place to live, great place to work, really good job opportunities and work-life balance, and just cost of living is low. It's a really, really nice place. So yeah, definitely lucky that we found it, and looking forward to the future here. Anyway, let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 111 of Gear Talk. Gear Talk is the show that I do every other week, where we talk about the geekier side of rollerblading. If you know the difference between a rounded profile, a square profile, and a bullet profile, and if you know what a face profile is, you've come to the right place. Those are all different wheel profiles that you'll find on primarily aggressive wheels. You don't really find any square profile wheels on anything other than aggressive. And typically anything higher than 58. I don't know that there's any square 60s. Are there square 60s out there? I bet Bravo makes a square 58, 59 maybe. But yeah, I don't think there's anything bigger than a 60 that's square. I don't think there's anything bigger than a 58 that's square. Square profile's kind of gone the wayside. People don't really ride square profiles anymore. Mostly rounded profiles. Rounded square, a little bit of a flat is nice. The aggressive profile, as Bravo calls it, where it's got a flat top and then angled on the edge, that's really popular. But the real square wheels that you see, that's not really common anymore. But if you knew what that meant, and you know what the face profile is, and who Face was, what the Face company is, then you're at the right place. This is where we talk about the geekier side of rollerblading. So every other Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, we get together and we talk about wheels and bearings and Allen keys and frame bolts and the weird stuff that people don't necessarily think about with rollerblading. most rollerbladers just want to go out there, put their skates on, and go enjoy the day. Some of us like to tinker with our skates. Some of us obsess with finding the perfect setup and dialing in every minute angle before we go for a session. If that is you, if that's the sort of thing that you're interested in, come join us. We do this live on YouTube every other Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It is difficult for some of us outside of the US to join at that time. I totally get it. People got to sleep. If you're not able to join us live, please make sure that you let us know in the comments if you're watching this in the future. I do post this to the podcast feed, and I have been so busy the last couple of weeks, I completely forgot to post the last episode to the podcast feed. So I will do that tomorrow, and then I will post this one to the feed on Friday. So you'll get 2 episodes of Gear Talk this week on the podcast feed. Apologize, it's been a bit of a hectic couple of weeks here at the Balance Distribution Warehouse, let alone the Ingram household. I'm struggling trying to keep up with everything that's going on in my life. But I definitely wanted to carve out a little bit of time to meet with everybody, to say hey, and to do another episode of Gear Talk. Because this is the show that I really look forward to doing every week. It's a lot of fun to just sit and geek out about skate stuff and answer your questions. I love answering questions, and tonight is going to be a special episode because I didn't have time to prepare for anything. We're going to do only questions. So I got a few questions from Instagram, I got a few questions from Facebook, and of course, anybody who's watching live, I would love to get your questions. Make sure that you tag Back to Blading so that I can see them. They show up with a little orange box around them. This is the night that I'm really encouraging questions. I'm not going to stay long, but I'll stay as long as there are questions, and try to keep the questions kind of, I don't know, somewhat relevant, I guess. Don't just post questions just to keep me around, because I'll probably just block you and never pay attention to you again. No, I won't do that. But I would like to answer questions. If you do have any questions on your mind, anything funky that has to do with skating is preferred. Things that you have a difficult time getting answers to on Facebook groups or doing a Google search. Those are the sort of things that I'm really good at answering, because I've had to struggle with those things too. And I've had to answer those questions in the past and help other people get back to blading so that they know what to do if their wheels start squeaking, what to do if they start feeling a vibration in their wheel, what to do if they start feeling a clicking in their wheel. All of those things are easily remedied, but it took me a long time to figure out what the heck was going on and how do I make this stop. If this is the sort of thing that you like, every other Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, make sure that you subscribe. You'll get a notification when we go live. Would love to have you here. Before I get started, I always like to thank my friends over at thehelmetinitiative.org for helping us with our helmet giveaway. I am a big proponent of skating with a helmet, and happily, most of the people out at Winter Clash were skating with helmets, and that was a really great sign. I know that they were required and everything, but that doesn't mean that people are going to wear them. I know there were a few people protesting helmets. I don't really understand why. I think helmets are fine. If you don't want to wear a helmet, fine, but you know the rules going into it. Don't give people crap if you're going to show up to a skate comp where they say helmets are required and they say, oh, I'm not wearing a helmet. It's like, well, okay, then don't go to the skate comp, right? I mean, you don't have to skate. Nobody's forcing you to skate. But I will say that it was really reassuring to see a lot of people wearing helmets. Even if they were wearing helmets in a weird way, at least they were wearing a helmet. Not only is it safer for you to wear a helmet, look at what happened to Bobby. He ran into Sem, was it? And, got knocked unconscious. If he was not wearing a helmet, that could have been a really serious injury. And I've chatted a little bit with Bobby. He's feeling a lot better. Definitely was a serious injury. Definitely shook him up, and he's taking a while to recover. That's not the sort of thing that you want to happen at an event, let alone us normals going out and having a nice session at our local skate park. Nobody wants to fall down, hit their head, and end up in the hospital. So the best way to prevent that from happening, prevent the catastrophe of falling and hitting your head and ending up in the hospital, just put a helmet on. Helmets are usually around $50 or so. I recommend the 888 Sweat Saver certified helmets. They are the best bang for your buck. And in my opinion, they offer a great level of comfort with performance and well, what do I want to say? Safety, I guess. They're not the most comfortable helmets. You can get something that's a lot more comfortable, but for having a lot of safety and being a certified helmet, these are probably the most comfortable certified helmets I've found. They are around $50, and I know that $50 is a lot of money for some of us right now. Totally get it. I would love to help you if you are in the market for a helmet, but you can't afford it right now. You're looking to get back into blading, and you need a helmet so that you can feel safer when you're out there skating. For every episode of Gear Talk, I give away a helmet. So our friends over at the Helmet Initiative have sent us a bunch of helmets that we're able to give away for every episode. If you are interested, backtoblading.com/helmet. Let me put that in the chat. backtoblading.com/helmet. There it is. There we are. Paste back into the chat. backtoblading.com/helmet. If you're in the market for a helmet, you can't afford a helmet right now, but you'll want a helmet. Put your name and information in the list. I pick somebody at random every other week so that I can give them a helmet. Now, if you are in the US, I will get your size, I will get your mailing address, and I will send you a helmet absolutely free of charge, no questions asked. The only thing that I request is that you only fill out this form if you're actually going to wear a helmet. There are people out there who really want a helmet, and I want to make sure that the people who really want a helmet are the ones who win the helmet. If you're just going to get free stuff and put it in the closet and not actually wear it, or you're going to sell it somewhere, the famous Back to Blading guy gave me a helmet here, I'm going to upcharge it or something on Blade Trade. Don't do that. I don't want anything to do with that. I want to give people helmets that actually need them. If this is you, fill out the form. If you're in the US, I will send you a helmet. If you're outside of the US, I'm not going to send you a helmet because it's a little expensive to ship and it's more expensive for you to import the helmet. So I don't want any money to come out of your pocket. I want you to have this as a completely free helmet. So outside of the US, we're going to send you money. So whether it's PayPal or Venmo, we'll find a way to send you some money and we'll get you $50 US so that you can buy yourself a helmet in your local currency. It might afford you a full helmet. It might afford you a little bit of a helmet and you might need to come out of pocket for a little bit. Really just depends on your local scene and how much things cost there. But $50 US is a pretty good amount of money that you should be able to buy yourself a helmet. If you've got money left over, buy yourself some wheels, buy yourself a set of bearings, something else that you can do for skating. We want to make sure that you have a really great time skating and most importantly, a safe skating experience. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, fill out the form, give us your information. We would love to send you a helmet. How can we do this? Well, we've got a few ways of doing this. One is we run ads on our YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel usually has a pre-rolled ad. Sometimes I do mid-roll ads. All of that money goes back into Back to Blading. So it keeps the lights on, it keeps our bandwidth flowing, it keeps our domain name registered, it keeps the website up and running, and it keeps us able to do the Helmet Initiative. So if we don't have a helmet to give to you, we have to give you money. That money has to come from somewhere. Another way of doing it is with our Patreon supporters. So patreon.com/backtoblading. If you'd like more information, we don't have a ton of freebies up there. It's really just a place that you can support the channel and you can support the Helmet Initiative. If that's something that you're interested in, if you've got a little bit of extra money that you want to flow our way, even $1 a month would be appreciated. Patreon.com/backtoblading is where you go. And we'll do our best to make sure that that money gets into a good person's head, takes care of that person's head so that when they fall down, they don't hurt themselves as bad. It's a really good feeling thing. If you are a student, if you're down on your luck right now, I don't want your money. This is for people who have a little bit of extra income, a little bit of extra money, and they want to support the channel. So patreon.com/backtoblading, helmetinitiative.org, blading initiative, helmetinitiative.org, and backtoblading.com/helmet if you'd like to fill out the form to possibly win a helmet for tonight. All right. Before we get started, I always like to go through my current setup. And this week I actually got to go out and skate. If you saw my video on Monday, I think I posted it. This weekend I was able to go out and skate at an actual skate park. So I've been skating a little bit here at the warehouse. We're very fortunate to have a nice little mini ramp that we can session here. And I've built a little area in the flat bottom that I have a box that I can skate. So I'm able to do a little bit of grinds, but that doesn't really allow me to skate. You know, when you're skating mini ramp, you don't really skate. You kind of walk up the wall and then you drop in and you do grinds and you drop in. It's really good for like your legs and your cardiovascular, but you don't get that feeling of skating. And that's the feeling that I love. You know, I'm an old hockey player. Nothing better than picking a puck from the defenseman as a winger and just flying down the ice on a breakaway. That's the feeling that I like to replicate. And that's something that I can't do here, because as soon as I get to top speed, I'm running into the side of the wall because I've got 19 feet of warehouse that I can skate in. That's not a lot of room. How do I stop before crashing into the roll-up door? But when I go to a skate park, I can skate fast. I can skate hard. And this weekend I went to the Durham skate park and I was skating my Them 909s, which are right here. So these are the Them 909s. As I said in the video, they need no introduction. Probably one of the most popular aggressive skates right now. This is the Them skate. This is the company that John Julio started back in 2018 after leaving Rossi's and Volo and saying, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing. I don't need you all. He came out with the 908, which was a open source mold. He created a new sole plate, and this was his first stint into the industry as a skate company. Over the years, he's been saving money, came out with a 909, which is the new shell. Same sole plate, new shell, upgraded liners over the years, and then eventually came out with their own frame, their own wheels. This is the original 909. So this is the one that came out in 2020. But I've added the V3 sole plate. So this is the new sole plate that they just came out with last year. It is a little bit wider, especially towards the heel, a little bit wider, which really helps with sole tricks, which really helps with topside tricks. Now, I'm not very good at topsides. I understand the mechanics of it. I haven't done any topside tricks with these skates yet. I probably will next time. But you can see I'm already like this grind area where I'm skating. This is a really nice little sole area that I'm wearing in. Now the old sole in the back here, it came a little bit closer, more like that line instead of straight down and over. And you can see where I'm wearing. If that line swirls down this way, there's less area for you to lock on and get stable on sole tricks. Now, some of us learn sole tricks more on our toes, so we lean a little bit further forward when we're doing sole tricks. Some of us more on heels. And when you're doing topside tricks, you definitely open up your shoulders and occasionally will slip out if there isn't a heel back there to keep you from slipping on that ledge. So this sole plate I've really enjoyed. I think it was a really great update. They also changed the groove over here. So before it was a little notch, like a little slice that was taken out of the sole plate. Now it's an actual concave groove. And it works really well. I think this is my right foot. Let me see my left foot. This is my Royale foot. Yeah, and you can see I've been getting down pretty nicely. A lot of nice little groove here, little wear here in the sole plate. It's starting to look really nice. Really happy with these sole plates. I think this was a really great upgrade. I don't know how expensive these new sole plate upgrades were. I think it's more of a cosmetic thing. So a few grand or so, I'm sure they invested to make this a V3 versus the original sole plate, but definitely worth the cost. These came out initially, I think, with the Pat Ritter, which was December of 2021, I think. And they're great, absolutely great. I'm absolutely loving them. Plastic shell boots, you know, I've been skating carbons, I've been skating sways. I really enjoy the plastic shell boot, mostly for the shock absorption. You know, I love some carbons. I love the Adapts, I love the USD carbons. But I do get that feeling after I skate of a little bit of like tingliness in my feet, a little bit of tingliness in my knees, and that can't be good. So nothing against carbon. Having a nice shock absorber in there, definitely a necessity, but you definitely get a little bit more shock with a carbon skate than you do with a plastic skate. And I found that out over the last couple of months. Skating these, skating the sways, there is something to be said about a nice plastic skate to avoid shock, to avoid a little bit more of that tingliness after a session. Because, I mean, I'm not a young chicken anymore, right? 46, it's definitely time for me to start thinking about taking care of my body. And aggressive inline skating, probably not the best way to do that. So I'm trying to look at ways that I can skate for as long as I can. Having shock absorbers, having some sort of an insole that helps with a little bit of cushioning, and plastic skates will definitely help. What else is there to say about this? So I'm skating the RL1s. I really like the RL1s. I tried to skate the Intuitions that came on my FRs. They just came up a little bit too tall on my heels or on my ankles, and it wasn't a good feeling. It would rub on the side of my ankle. Definitely not good. It was uncomfortable trying to get boot down Royale, very uncomfortable. I skated these last weekend at the mini ramp, and then this weekend at Durham. Definitely love these liners. I think a lower profile liner is the way to go with this skate. A little bit more squishy too. I don't like liners that are too supportive. I like a little bit of support, especially around the heel area. But this top area, I mean, I've got this cuff. The cuff is going to support me. I don't need too much more. I want comfort. I want a little bit of padding. I want a little bit of flex so that when I'm squishing into a top sole or something like that, I can feel the solid connection between, the rail and the boot. That's hard to do if the liner is so stiff that you can't really flex your skate over. Not all Intuitions are like that, but the FR ones definitely were. They're tall too, which isn't a good thing. I was skating the Balance 2s. I've skated the Balance 2s before. Never skated them anti-rocker though. These are the UHMW anti-rocker wheels, and then I'm skating 60/88 on the outside. I love 60 millimeter wheels for skating anti-rocker. It's a really great size. A lot of good coast, a lot of good acceleration. Is really that perfect sweet spot for skating anti-rocker for me. UHMW anti-rocker wheels, I really like these at ledge spots. I haven't skated anti-rocker in a while, but Durham is a very ledge heavy park. And for me, getting on this Balance 2 frame with the anti-rocker wheels, perfect setup. I really love the tighter groove that you get with the Balance 2. With the Prime frames, it's a deep groove, which is really nice for skating rails, coping, P-rails, stuff like that. But if I'm skating ledges, that deep groove, it feels like it kind of gets lost. So skating rails, totally get it. Skating ledges, though, I like something a little bit more shallow. Gives me a little bit more room to get into the grind, a little bit more confidence that I'm locking onto the ledge. Yeah, definitely had a great session. I cannot wait to go out and skate again. I need a little bit of a break. My legs are still sore 3 days later. It is hard to come back to skating hard. I'm sure a lot of you out there are getting back into it this year. It's hard to go out there and skate when your mind is telling you exactly what you need to do, but your body is like, hey, you haven't done this in a while. Like, you need to take it a little bit slower. I'm paying for it now. My legs hurt, my calves hurt. It is one of those things that you've just got to skate more often, work out more often, do things more often so that you stay mobile, so you stay flexible, so you don't hurt yourself. But I had a really great session. Looking forward to getting out there again. This weekend, I won't be skating. I will be bringing my skates, probably bringing my skates out to Bitter Cold. We will be out at Bitter Cold Showdown this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be able to skate because my flight actually leaves on Sunday. I've got a bit of a crazy week. I was initially planning on flying or driving out Thursday, tomorrow. But due to some family emergencies, I've had to change my schedule. And instead of driving, I'm going to be flying. And I'm going to be leaving after I pick the kids up from school on Friday. So I'm not leaving here until Friday evening. And I won't be flying in until midnight. So it's going to be a really late night for me. On Saturday is set up. I think we set up at 8. I think doors open at 9. And I think the trade show goes until 1. So I will be at the booth for the entire 4 hours. Is that 4? 4 hours of trade show. Showing you all the stuff that I've been working on. I'm really, really proud of our current line. And I want everybody to see it. And after that, I'm probably going to go back to the hotel and take a nap. Because I'm old. And it's nice to take naps during the day. So I'm going to go take a nap probably, and then I'll come back for the ending of Bitter Cold, whatever's happening that night, check everybody out. And then Sunday, might skate in the morning, might just hang out and have some coffee, hang out with my friends. It's very rare that we're able to hang out together, especially with people that I chat with all the time online. I want to make sure that I can spend time with you in person. It's really fun to hang out and talk smack with each other while we're in person. My flight on Sunday leaves at 7. So I've got to leave, probably around 5 o'clock or so, which means I'm going to need to find a shower or something if I go skate. We might be skating modern. I might bring these skates. I don't know yet. If I can fit them into my suitcase, I will, just in case. But I'm not going to be bummed out if I can't skate this weekend. I'm really not going there to skate. I'm going there to see everybody, say hey, and to meet everybody. So anyway, that is my current setup. We'll see if I'm able to skate this weekend. I hope that I am. I'll plan on bringing them just in case I get inspired. I'd hate to want to skate and not have skates, but I'm not expecting to be able to skate this weekend. It might be a bye weekend, and then I'll come back next week and skate hard. All right. Before we get started with your questions, a little bit of housekeeping. So it's been a busy week here at Balance. I've been doing everything that I can to stay afloat. You plan product launches in advance, and you don't really take into consideration current events or things that might happen that take away time from your life. So it's been a very busy week, but I do have some new products that I wanted to share with you. They go on pre-order or on sale on Saturday. So want to make sure that you can see them now in case you want to pick them up. Some of these are limited. Some of these are going to be in our line for a while, but we only brought in a few of them. So if you want to grab them, you should grab them now. Let me show you, start with Fitty Fitty. So first off, if you were at Winter Clash and if you are in the internet, you might have seen the new Adapt line drop. One of the skates in the new Adapt line is the John From Brute. Really warms my heart. The guy is one of the hardest skaters out there, hardest working guy that I know. And just one of the most genuine people that you'll ever meet. And for him to finally get a skate with his name on it after all those years of working, really, really makes me happy. Now, the Adapt skate is the Brutale. It is a nice white and black Brutale. The Adapt Brutale, do I have it up here? Yes. So this is the 2022 version. The 2023 is slightly modified. I think they've improved areas fitting in the toe box. I never had an issue with the toe box, but they improved the toe box. They improved area. Oh. Is my stream still going? I hope the stream is still going. I just got a note that said that I wasn't streaming. So let me know if it is working. It looks like it's working. All right. YouTube being silly. I am sorry for YouTube. I don't have the greatest connection here at the warehouse. I have to admit, they charge business prices and it's very expensive to get really fast internet here, but it looks like it's still good. A little bit choppy, a little okay. All right. Well, I don't have anything going. I turned off my Dropbox. I turned off all of my apps. It is just YouTube being YouTube. Gotta love it. So anyway, these are the Brutales. These are the 2022 versions. They are an all carbon, actually dial-in boot with a nubuck skin. Really, really great boot. Love skating these skates. The new versions have a slightly modified toe box area. They have a slightly modified lining area. And the best thing is that they came out with one for John From. So John is a great friend. He got a full white with black Brutale. It's beautiful. And they asked us to be part of the skate. So John skates 50-50. He's gotten 2 frames in the past. He had a prime frame last year, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And he got a Balance 1 frame when we first brought back the company. When was it? 2019, I think he got his Balance 1 frame, which was a white frame. Really, really lovely. It was our first collab with Red Eye, which was really, really cool to be able to offer an actual signature frame so you could actually get the setup that John skates. And this year we did the same thing. So we brought back the John From Balance frame. This time he's got a version 2 Balance frame. These are the new From frames. They are a black frame, black axles with a big oversized logo. The logo is in a kind of like a whitish, dark I guess light gray sort of color. Very, very nice. These will be our black frame for the foreseeable future. So until we sell through these, we're going to have these as our black frame. So if you want a black frame, support John. This is the way to do it. The Balance 2 frame is the frame that I'm skating now. We designed this 2 years ago, brought them out last year. They are really good for skating flat. I like skating them anti-rocker. I skated them anti-rocker this weekend. It was a really great experience. They fit a maximum of 60 millimeter wheels. They have a 105 millimeter split. So it's not the biggest split on the market, but it allows you to swap these frames and easily access the frame bolts. So if you want to swap your frames from riding a flat 58 setup, all you need to do is put your Allen key in there, loosen up the frame bolts, pop them off, put a new frame on. You could put on your compass frames if you want to go big wheeling. You could put on your prime frames if you want to skate. You could put on any other frame on the market. Doesn't matter what you want to skate. We like to give you options. We love leaning into UFS because it is a very flexible system, even though people hate on UFS. Most of the frames out there wouldn't be possible without UFS. They're also very light, slide great, got great reviews. We came out with a Yandril Savario frames back in December. They got a great response. People are loving the frames. I absolutely love the Balance 2s. That's what I'm skating now. It is going to be available in March. So we're going to do the pre-orders on Saturday. The frames are in customs now. So it usually takes about 2 weeks for them to get through customs and get to our warehouse. I'm expecting them to clear customs next week. It's really hard to say. Shipping isn't too crazy right now, but our port is backed up for some reason. So as they get cleared from customs, I will continue to update people if they would like to pre-order the frames. They'll be available in March. We also have a bundle that we're doing with Red Eye. So I don't have the wheels here yet. I will show them at the next Gear Talk, but I should have them at Bitter Cold. They are the John Fromm 59mm 90A Red Eye wheels, and we're pairing them with the Chad Tannehill 47, I think they're 47mm anti-rocker wheels. So you'll get a complete Red Eye wheel setup. Will include 50/50 bearings along with the Balance 2 frame. They will come with a shirt. They will come with matching laces, so black laces with some gray 50/50 logos on them, and a custom box, which is the nice big box. They come pre-installed, so all you need to do is slide the UFS bolts in and mount them onto your skates. No assembly required, just mount the frames onto your boots and you're good to go. So for the shirts, so we started doing shirts along with the bundles for Yandril. He and his filmer, I think Pablo, did the logo. They came up with a really cool little 50/50 logo that they put into their video. And I was like, I want a still of that so that I can put that on a shirt. And we put it on a shirt and we included them for free with all of the bundles. We're doing the same thing with John's bundle. So if you buy John's Red Eye Balance 2 bundle, not only do you get the laces, not only do you get the frames and the wheels and bearings, but you get a free 50/50 shirt. So we are going to throw in a subtle shirt, either in white, like I'm wearing now. It is just a nice clean white shirt with a subtle 50/50 stamp logo on the left chest, or the black one, which is a black shirt with the white logo. Again, just a really subtle print. You don't need to go big with prints, especially if you're an adult and you're going to a cookout, or if you're going to some sort of a get-together and you want to wear a t-shirt, but you don't want to wear a big graphic tee, but you want to represent rollerblading. These are really great options for that. Say that you're a rollerblader without saying that you're, I don't know. I like graphic tees, so I can't really say anything bad about that. But there's a time and a place, right? If you go to your kid's school, you can't really show up with a chroma shirt. I mean, you could, but that's not the sort of thing that you wear to meet with your teacher. You would wear something like this, and that's what I would wear. So nice, clean shirt. They're called the subtle stamp logo for a reason. You can pick whatever size and whatever color you want. We'll have all of those options on the website, and these are available now. So you'll be able to order them on Saturday. We will ship them out on Monday. They're available as well as with the bundle. So if you want to pick up a shirt, you can definitely do that. White or black. I think we're doing small all the way to double XL. So we should have you covered. In addition to that, we're bringing out a hooded sweatshirt. So people have asked for hoodies. This is our new hoodie. This is a full zip. So it's a zipper, as you've seen me explain in the past when we had the charcoal hoodies. These are a black hoodie. It's a different manufacturer. It's a slightly heavier weight hoodie. This is a large that I'm wearing. It is a little bit bigger than the ones that we had before, which actually fits me really nicely. A little bit heavier weight, so it's going to be a little bit warmer than the ones that we made before. The logo is a little bit smaller. I felt like the last one was a little big, so we brought this in. It's down to 3 inches now. Embroidered logo across the top. It's got the hood in case you want to be a Jedi. And it's got the full zip, so if you're hot, you can unzip it and let your chest breathe a little bit. It's really nice. I love zippered hoodies. For me, it's a lot better than the pullover hoodie. I do like a pullover hoodie, but there's a time and a place. And if I'm walking around throughout the day and I intend to take on and off the hoodie, I don't want to take on and off a pullover hoodie. I like having a zippered hoodie. It gives me 3 options. Either I keep my arms nice and warm, or I can zip it up. My arms and my chest are nice and warm. In fact, for a bonus, I could keep my head nice and warm. Or if I don't want to stay warm and I want to cool off, look at this. Without going over my head, the hoodie is gone. Beautiful full zip hoodies. They'll be available this weekend as well. We have them in stock. We'll also be bringing them out to Bitter Cold, so you can check them out, feel the quality, and pick one up out there. And then finally, unexpectedly popular, we are bringing out a hat. So we've never done a hat. We've done beanies in the past. We've never done a hat. John loves wearing his hat. So this is kind of the whole John Fromm fit. If you wanted to get really in, you get your bundle, you get your shirt, and then you get the hoodie, and then you get the hat, and you can be exactly like John. You'd need to bring some black pants. I don't have any pants for you. You'd have to find some black cargos, or I think he usually wears jeans. I'm not sure what he wears, but he does wear hats. And I said, hey, you know what? I'd love to do a hat. What kind of hat would you like to do? And he said, you know, I've been really into these camper hats, these camper style hats. And I didn't know what a camper hat was, but it is a 5-panel cap that is washable, that is damageable, that you can fold up and put into a backpack and then pull out, and it will keep its shape. So we made a 5-panel camper hat. This is the Fitty Fitty camper hat. It is a 5-panel cap. It has a very subtle embroidered logo on the top. This is a 1.5-inch embroidered logo. The back has a elastic strap with a buckle. So this is elastic for a little bit of room if your head is a little bit bigger, and it adjusts all the way up and all the way down. I am a large helmet. I have this set at a medium setting, and the hat fits me perfectly. I gotta say, I'm a good-looking man wearing a hat now. If you want a hat, we only have a few of them made. I didn't expect them to be popular because hats, I'm not a hat guy, so I don't really know what hats are good and why somebody would want a hat. But if you want a hat, we have about a dozen that we're bringing to Bitter Cold. I think I brought in 50 or so hats. Not a ton. Really, it was just because I wanted to make a hat for John, and I thought that it would be really cool to offer a hat and a whole fit so that you could dress like John. I thought that would be really funny. So we brought in some hats. They are going to be available this weekend as well. You can see how they fit. They're one size fits all. You can make them tighter, you can make them looser. You can't make them much bigger. So if you have a really big head or if you have a lot of hair, it probably won't fit you. If you have a very small head, you know, you can cinch the back, but it might look a little funny, kind of like a mushroom. I don't know. I'm not a hat guy, but if you are a hat guy, you might like this hat. I think they're really great. They're the first product that my wife has seen and said, I really like that hat. So if you want your wife to see you wearing a hat and say, hey, that's a nice hat, I got a hat for you. All of this stuff is going to be available this weekend. We're going to put it on sale on Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. It'll be on balanced distribution. You can get there from fittyfittyframes.com. Check out all of our socials if you want more information. We'll also have them all at the Bitter Cold. So if you want to come out, would love to meet you this weekend at the Bitter Cold Showdown in Detroit. It's not really Detroit, but in Detroit. We'll be up there on Saturday from 9 to 1, and then I'll be home napping. Not only do we have Fitty Fitty stuff, but we have Chroma stuff. So this is something that I'm really excited about. Not that I'm not excited about John's frame and the ability to do a collaboration with Adapt, but these, my friends, are wheels that I've been working on for 2 years. So this is something that I haven't told very many people about. But so there's 2 reasons why I wanted to do this. First of all, I love Chroma. I love what we were able to do with Chroma. But I realize that Chroma can't stay relevant if all we do are team wheels that come out once, maybe twice a year. There needs to be more consistent product available. And as much as I love purple wheels or blue wheels, not everybody loves purple wheels or blue wheels. Some people just want really good quality wheels. And they love what we're doing, but maybe they can't get a purple wheel to fit into their current setup. Totally get that. I wanted to provide a product that people could support Chroma and skate no matter what setup they've got. Chroma is all about colors, but wheels are typically white. So we looked at a way that we could come out with a wheel that was accessible to everybody, but still had the vibe of Chroma. And we worked with Jeremy Bytall to come up with an amazing logo. Absolutely love this print, this design for our new wheels. Now, not only is it a new white wheel with a beautiful 3-color for 3 people on the team, 3-color logo, but it is a brand new profile. We've been working on this profile for a while. Just like we've been working on the 56mm profile for Fitty Fitty, this profile fit a need in the industry that I feel wasn't being served super well. There aren't that many round 58mm wheels of quality. There are a few round 58mm wheels, but they usually come OEM on skates, and they're not really good. I don't know where they're poured, but they're not poured at the usual suspects. You can't get a really high quality round 58mm wheel. And I love a round profile wheel. My 60s are amazing for skating anti-rocker. They're also really good for skating flat. And I wanted to find a way that we could do a rounded 58mm wheel. We have a 58mm wheel. The 58mm wheel is a face profile. And the problem with a face profile, if you're skating anti-rocker, it's very responsive. So if you are doing swizzly stuff and you want mobility when skating anti-rocker, the face profile is for you. If you're spinning and you're landing gaps, or if you're landing airs, it's not for you. That's not a good profile for you. It's really designed for a flat setup and edge case if you want a little bit more mobility when you're skating anti-rocker. So I wanted to make a wheel that was 58mm, that was more reliable for landing gaps, that was more stable when you're skating anti-rocker. And there wasn't really one out there. So we came up with our own profile. Again, something that we've been working on. We paid for our molds so that we could come up with this unique profile that hasn't been seen before. And it is our new 58mm team wheel. So this is the packaging for the team wheel. These are the new Chroma wheels. These are 4 58mm wheels. Like all Chroma wheels, they come in a beautiful box with a see-through window that you can see inside. Absolutely love how these came out. You can see the whole box. We really leaned into the coloring. You can see each of the sides. It is a homage to CMYK. We use the color matching. You can see the little color on the bottom. Jeremy I think he really loves working with Chroma. You know, he's done a lot of projects in the past, but with Chroma, I kind of give him free rein to just do whatever comes to mind. And I said, I really want to lean into color with this one. Come up with something really cool. And he absolutely did. He blew it out the box. So you've seen a box before. This is the wheel. So this is the Chroma 58mm wheel, our new team wheel. And it is a 3-color print. It is a single-sided print. So our team wheels are only single-sided. We need to save a little bit of money. They'll be a little bit more, a little bit less expensive than our signature wheels. So we're saving a little bit of money there. But they feature a brand new profile. So this is the new 58mm profile. Now, not only is it a rounded profile like our 60mm profile is, but it also comes a little short. So here is where the wheel would normally, if you look at the side, it would normally come straight up and then round off. Instead, we took it and we beveled it a little bit, and then we made it round from there. So it is a bit of a mix of a rounded profile and a face profile. Really lovely. This is going to be a lot of fun to skate. They come in 90A, which is kind of an all-around good hardness. If you don't know what you want to skate, 90A is the way to go. If you don't know what setup you want, a rounded 58mm wheel is the way to go. If you don't know what frames you want to ride or what colors you want to bring in, a white wheel is the way to go. We tried to make this the team wheel so that no matter what, you could support Chroma, you could skate these wheels, everybody out there can skate these wheels, and they're going to have a really good time. These are available in March as well, so they are stuck in customs just like our frames. They will be here soon. We will have pre-orders on Saturday. Now, I need to warn you, we only brought in 100 sets of these. So I didn't bring a lot of these wheels. These were an experiment. It is a brand new mold. It's hard to pay for a brand new mold and full production. If you are interested in picking these wheels up, make sure that you get them on the pre-order or reach out to your favorite shop. Shops will have them. The way that I always do my breakdown is if I bring in 100 sets of wheels, I put 25% to our direct sales, 75% go to shops. That way I can still make my margins and sell to people direct, but I don't screw over shops and have things that are only available to direct customers. I want to make sure that we have a thriving shop community. Super important to me that we keep supporting our shops. So 75% of our product goes to shops. If they want them, they can have that 75%. Now, if they don't pick it up, then I will sell whatever's left over direct, but I want to make sure that I reserve 75% for them so that they have the most access to wheels. If you are interested, make sure that you reach out to your shops. They will be getting them in the first week of March, probably second week of the March, to be honest, middle of March. They'll probably be able to do pre-orders. I sent them an email tonight with all the information, so they'll know how to get them. They'll know where to get them and when to get them. Really excited about these wheels. They do come with a sticker sheet. I forgot to show you. Like all Chroma wheels, they all come with a sticker sheet. This is our sticker sheet, the team wheels. A lot of cool stickers that'll come with it. All of the different colors are represented, the Chroma logo, and then the different 3-color passes. I really love the dot halftone Chroma with the 3 colors down the bottom. Really, really cool. I love Chroma. I think it's such a fun brand. It's just something that you can kind of have no creative limits. Just do something fun. Make wheels that look pretty. That is the spec. If you can make a wheel that looks pretty, we're all about it. Anyway, they will be available this weekend. We also have a t-shirt. We have a white t-shirt coming that has the 3-color print. It'll be center left chest. I need to post that photo. It's been a bit of a long week, but those will be available when the wheels ship as well. We'll be ordering those next week, and they will be arriving in mid-March along with the wheels. So you can get a bundle with the wheels and the shirt. We're doing everything we can to really have fun with this product launch. All right. And on top of that, Bitter Cold. So Bitter Cold is this weekend. I am really looking forward to meeting everybody. We will have all of this stuff out there so that you can touch it, you can spin the wheels, you can hold the frames, you can try on the hat, you can try on the half the full zip. You can touch everything, don't lick anything, but we'd love to have you at least see what things are. One of the great things about going to a shop back in the days is you could actually feel the products that you were going to buy. Now it's kind of hard because you're living on Instagram and you can't really see things with your eyes. You see them through your phone. Very different experience. I want to bring that to you. So we're really looking forward to Bitter Cold. We'll have all of our products on display. They'll all be on the table. You can spin the wheels. You can touch the wheels. Look at the graphics. They're amazing in person. We also have some secrets that we're going to be sharing at Bitter Cold. So I encourage you, if you have any way of getting out to Detroit this weekend, please do. Please stop by the booth. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have a feeling we'll have a lot to talk about in the next couple of weeks. But definitely, we've been working really hard to get this all lined up. And Bitter Cold is going to be a really important event for me. So very, very much looking forward to meeting you all, and I'm very looking forward to sleeping Saturday nights because it's been a long run up to this. All right, let me get myself some water, and then I will scroll to the top and I will answer some questions. This episode of Gear Talk is all about your questions. So if you have questions, I would love to answer them. I don't have a topic, I just have you. And I know there are a few questions up there already. I want to answer as many as I can. Just throw them in the live chat. Make sure that you tag back to blading so that I can see them. It's hard for me to see without my glasses. And if I wear my glasses, I get reflections on the lights. I don't want that either. So I'm going to get some water, and then let's get to your questions. All right, scrolling all the way to the top. Now I know there are more up here, but I am up to the top of what I can see. And the first question, True 27 Skeet, have you announced Balance Skate Company yet? No, but if you read between the lines, this might be a good weekend if you're interested in said company or brand. I hope to make it up and skate the compound. I'm actually going to be up there in... when is it? March? End of March? Might be a little cold for me, but if I'm able to, I will definitely swing by and say hey to everybody and skate. Tree, Law, what are some Bitter Cold Showdown essentials that I don't know I need to pack? It is an excellent question. I've never been to Bitter Cold. I think Bitter Cold started when I was kind of dipping away from rollerblading. So I was doing my family thing. I wasn't super involved. I can tell you I've been to enough events to know that there are a few things that I would consider essential for going to any skating event. First thing, got to bring a water bottle. Now, I am a big guy that always has a water bottle with me. I bring these, what are these, 32-ounce thermoflask. I love these. Thermoflask. I love these. It's enough water for me. I try to get through 2 of these a day. At least 1 of these a day. Hydration is important. If you're going to skate, if you're going to an event and you have in the mindset of skating, make sure that you bring your skates, make sure that you bring your helmet, as many pads as you want, change of underwear, change of socks. You can get by without changing your pants or your shirt. Shirt kind of gets a little damp and everything, but there's nothing worse than having wet socks or wet boxers. So I always make sure that I bring an extra pair of those so that I can swap them out after I skate. It's gross to walk around for the rest of the day in sweaty stuff. If you're the sort that likes to take pictures and videos, always bring a battery for your phone. You are going to run out of signal or of battery fast, taking a lot of photos, probably checking in on things. Usually at an event, cell service is a little spotty if there's a lot of people. That means your cell modem is working harder to get a signal, taking longer to download things. It's using up more of that radio, which means that the battery is going to drain faster. Make sure that you bring an extra battery, something with USB-C or Lightning or whatever that you can plug into your phone. I love those battery packs that you can plug into the wall and they have little cables that are attached. Definitely worth bringing. Snacks. I always like to bring RX bars or Cliff bars or something that can get me through the day. I don't eat when I'm at an event. I love eating, but I'm not able to. It is super important because after the event, you're going to lose track of time and you'll end up falling down because you're so tired. I don't want to have any, fallen trees. That was rude. I shouldn't make fun. I don't want somebody falling down. And if you bring a snack, you'll feel much better. A little bit of candy would be good. A little sugar rush, that's always good. I'm not a pot guy. I'm not a smoking guy. but I can imagine that's going to mellow you out a little bit. If you're into that sort of thing, bring something that will bring you back up a little bit. Otherwise, that whole day you're going to be very mellow, which is fine. But it's a skate event. You know, it's going to be fun. You should enjoy it. You should cheer. Need a little sugar for that. That's probably it. You know, if you bring those, 5 essentials, I think you're going to have a really good time. I'm definitely looking forward to meeting you again. I think we met at the, what year is it? In 2018? Very briefly, and, you know, we've chatted enough, but it's been way too long. This year, I've made it a goal to get out to more events, and, you know, if I can, I'm going to get to as many of them as I can, especially with, you know, more brands and more things that need to be shared with people outside of Gear Talk and everything. I want to make sure that I have a presence everywhere. So definitely looking forward to meeting you, Tree, and anybody else who's going to Bitter Cold. Adama, graphic 50/50 wheels in the future, yes or no? Yeah, we are a frame company. So 50/50 wheels are supporting frames. And one thing that you might ask, you know, these new Chroma wheels, the 58 millimeter wheel, this is going to be for Chroma. This isn't going to be for 50/50. So 50/50 will continue to make the face profile wheels because that wheel is designed for skating flat. These wheels are designed for skating whatever you want. They are not an opinionated wheel. This is in my opinion, the best all-around wheel that you're going to be able to find. Rounded 58, perfect profile for skating flat or anti-rocker, 58 millimeter for good acceleration, all that. 50/50 wants to make wheels for our frames and how you want to skate them. So we make a 56 millimeter wheel because I love skating flat 56 on prime frames, 58 millimeter wheel, which is great for skating flat on balance frames, 60 millimeter wheel, which is great for skating anti-rocker, and a 65, which is big, but it's great for skating on prime frames. So those are the 4 buckets of wheels, and they support the frames that we make. We don't make wheels that aren't designed. We don't make a 62. We don't make a 59. We don't just make wheels for the sake of making wheels. We make wheels that support the frames and how we like to skate the frames. As far as graphics and stuff go, we might do something in the future, but really, you know, the focus is always on the frames. Good question, though. Chroma is definitely where you want to go, or I'll give a good plug to Mushroom Blading. If you like graphic wheels, they have some killer graphics. So definitely, you know, if you're a supporter of Joey and Todd, that's the way to go. Good question. Super Yosef, I think I won a helmet and responded with my address. Still haven't seen a message back. I have your email. It is in my queue. I'm sorry that I didn't get back to you sooner. It has been a hell of a week. I did not forget about you. I saw you on the list, and I know that it's going to go out. The warehouse right now is a mess, trying to get everything packed up so that I could ship it to Bitter Cold. That was one of the things that I didn't plan on because I was going to drive. So I had a few extra days to just pack everything up. But when I changed my plans from driving to flying, I had to figure out how to get product to Bitter Cold. And that meant packing up boxes and sending them to Stefan Brando, who's going to be driving from Columbus. And I had to get that done last week. So it has been chaos here. I still have your email. I didn't forget about you. Sometimes this takes a little bit of time, and I apologize for that. But it will happen. It will probably not happen until next week, when I can finally exhale a little bit and get through this bitter cold rush. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate you winning and getting back to me, and thanks for being patient. Jeff Metz, what is your favorite product that you have released since you've been back? That is an excellent question. I think my favorite product is the Prime Frame. I think the Prime Frames are, you know, and not to toot my own horn, I try to stay as humble as I can, but I feel like the Prime Frames have been in a lot of ways, a revolutionary product that have helped a lot of people out there. It might not be the best. We sell more Balance 2 frames than Prime Frames, and the reason is probably that the Prime Frame is, you know, $120 versus $60. You could buy 2 Balance 2 frames for the price of a Prime Frame. It's an expensive system. You know, you've got the anodized aluminum core. you've got the molded walls, you've got the core axles, you've got a lot going on there. But I feel like the response that we got from the prime frame has been amazing. I had a really nice chat with my old friend Shane Coburn a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And he is, following blading. He's, the guy that used to do Mind Game. So you can't really stop following blading. Your friends are in blading, you see what's happening. And he's seen some of my stuff with the prime frames. And he's really, really impressed in the way that, and this is in his words, that I've democratized frame development. And I think I've mentioned in the past that one of the reasons why I wanted to bring back 50/50 was that I felt that 50/50 gave me so much that I've now used in my career, in my life, that I wanted to give back to the community. I learned how to do product design. I learned how to make frames. I learned how to design backpacks. I learned how to do business, work with suppliers, work with, do sales, work with international distributors. All of these things I wouldn't have been able to do if it weren't for me being part of 50/50 back in the days. That I always chalk up as like my continuation school, and I wanted to give that to the next generation. And with a prime frame, I feel like I've done that. Open sourcing the platform so that other skaters like me who are interested in doing product design but maybe don't know where to start, now they have the tools to do it. You can download Fusion 360 for free. You can download the core developer kit for free. And you can get yourself a 3D printer for, $300 or so. And using, a computer that you have, Mac, PC, doesn't matter, you can print out your own frame walls. Now that we have the core developer kit, the developer kits, you're able to just get a set of cores for $70, I think? And you can print out whatever walls you want, Put whatever you want on there. You could support other developers who have come up with things. You can create your own thing. Looking at what Justin Thursday has done, and for those who don't know, Justin was a huge part of the development of the prime frame. He was a big proponent of the old core system. And I knew that, and I knew that I wanted to do the prime frame. So when I got to a point where I was happy with the prime frames, I brought Justin and I said, hey, I know that you like doing product design. And this was when he had just started out doing, I think he was doing sliders for Colts or for Genesis or, little sole plate sort of things, H-blocks I think he was doing. And I said, hey, I want to do something that is pretty weird, but I want to make this open source so that you can make frame walls for the core system. And he helped me from a developer's perspective design the core developer kit so that it was user-friendly, so that he could walk in, sight unseen, not developing this system, and be able to make frames for it. And now, Justin has become a designer. He's passed Autodesk and Fusion 360 and AutoCAD and all that stuff certifications. He is pivoting his career from whatever the hell he was doing to being a designer. And a lot of the reason that he's able to do that is because he was able to build frames on the core developer kit. That is amazing to me. And that was the goal of the core developer system in the beginning. I wanted to make it so that anybody out there can make frames. And not only is Justin making frames, but he's making a career for himself because he's developed skills that he can now leverage into, people will pay for. That to me is amazing. And it goes beyond blading. Now, from skating perspective, I love all of the things that we do. I love that I brought back the face profile. I love the 56 mil wheels. I love the Balance 2 frames. I love all the stuff that I've done. But for the biggest impact, I think the core frame developer kit, open sourcing that and making it available to developers to design their walls, to learn about design, I feel like that's the biggest thing. And I'm really, really proud of that. Great question. Great question. Rygar, going to try to stop by when I take up a trip to the East Coast. I missed Daniel Durr's skate park. Oh, so we are about 40 minutes from Daniel Durr's. Daniel Durr's is big. That's a big skate park. So make sure that you bring, I mean, you say that you've been there. Make sure you bring flat 60 minimum. Like, you need speed to get over those ramps. It is a BMX park. Everything is big. 8-foot quarters. I had a real difficult time skating there. I was skating anti-rock, I think, on Genesis, I think. It was a very difficult session. There's a few things that you can skate, but there's nothing small. Everything is pretty big. Yeah, definitely bring your big wheels. I do hope that you can stop by. So we've been having open houses here. We haven't done it we didn't do it last weekend. I think I was out of town last weekend. We won't do it this weekend because I'll be at Bitter Cold. But we have had open houses here at the warehouse, and they've been really nice. Anywhere from 3 to 20 people have shown up, and we have nice little sessions on the mini ramp. People, show me issues that they're having with their skates. I'm able to fix people's skates. It's been exactly what I was hoping it would be. It's every Saturday from 10 to 1. We're in Durham, North Carolina. You can go to balancedisc.com and find the link to visit us. You'll get directions here in our schedule. I do hope that you can come visit when you're up here. Rain or shine, we'll be here every Saturday. Few exceptions, obviously, but that is our goal, and I definitely look forward to meeting you. Nathan Chase, if you had free reign to improve, change the 909, what changes would you make? That's a good question. After skating the 909s, I've not skated plastic shells enough to really have a opinion, I guess. I do think that the V3, I've mentioned before, the V3 sole plate was a huge improvement. Biggest thing that I have a problem with not just the 909, but all raised heel boots, is the shock absorption. I love skating prime frames, but it's hard to skate prime frames or any metal frame if you don't have an internal shock. The aluminum is just too hard, too responsive. And you see, people who skate aluminum frames really well, like Joe Atkinson, they're skating Solomons with a big pillowy shock absorber. So they don't have to worry about the impact that you get from an aluminum frame. Aluminum can be solid. And I want to have a little bit more shock absorption in the 909. Now there's a way around that. You can use those FP insoles. I hear that those are really good. I do think that a heel shock absorber is nice. I think a raised heel boot is always going to have that problem. I think that's the way that they like it, though. There is a need for raised heel boots out there. I think people like them. Personally, I prefer a flat heel boot. I think if this were a flat heel boot, it would be perfect in my eyes. The sizing is pretty good. A little wiggly for me in the mid area, but again, I'm not skating the liners that they recommend. If I were skating the Intuitions, maybe I would have a different experience. The Rossi's RL ones fit nicely. I did get a little bit of wiggle. No wiggle forward and back. No wiggle in the heel. Fit perfectly around my cuff, though. So, yeah, I think they're really good skates. A little expensive, if I'm being honest. This is more expensive than a Sway, more expensive than the rollerblade, what are they, the blanks. They're slightly more expensive than I feel like a plastic shell should be. It's a new shell, maybe that's why. But yeah, those are the two things that I would probably work on. Good question. Getting a lot of great questions tonight. I'm enjoying this one. Tree, is this the type of irrelevant question that I shouldn't be asking? That's the one. Thanks for that. Wyco Booter, any exclusive products for BCSD? Exclusive products. Yes, we do have exclusive products that you won't be able to buy anywhere else. I haven't shown them here yet. And I will show them at Bitter Cold, so definitely come on out. Mr. Dern 25, if you could pick just one skate video you had to watch on repeat for the rest of your life, what would it be? Great question. Hoax 2. I think the Hoax 2 is the best vibe of any skate video out there. I know most of it by heart, and the skating definitely is dated now. The fashion definitely is dated now, but I feel like it has the best mix of everything that I love in a skate video. It's got good skating, good music, quality B-roll, fun stuff, and it tells a story. Like, it is a journey, and I love that about the Hoax 2. Hoosier Rail Riders, do you remember Realm wheels? They were so good. I do remember Realm. John skated for Realm. So I definitely remember Realm. I think they were poured by La Beta. They are good wheels. Yeah, they were good wheels. I don't know how long they lasted, like how long the brand lasted. A few years maybe. But they came out right when the Thrones came out. So what was that, 99, 98? Yeah, it's good brand. I don't know whatever happened to those. I don't even know who owned those. Was it Ryan Zalaki? Was that name ring a bell? That makes sense to me. That's why Chris, Garrett, Fiction at the Fiction Ramp would also have the Realm logo because Ryan and Chris were good friends, and I think he distributed Realm. That makes sense. Nathan Chates, can you explain what icon is in less than 100,000 words? Icon. If I were to put a one sentence descriptor for the Icon brand, I would say that Icon is high-end products for rollerblading. I don't know that I don't know that is. I don't know. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to talk ill on anything. I feel like they've made so many products that they don't have a very clear message. And if I were advising Icon, I would probably say clean things up, be very deliberate with who you are and what you're releasing. I think that they have this new Justin Thursday frame. I think that's great. I think they should lean into that and have a really high quality boot with a really high quality frame. And that can be the Icon thing. Instead, there's also the old Solomon FSK frame skate. There's also the plastic carbon-free skate. These are all three skates in an aggressive line of a brand that kind of just launched. So I think you need to come on with a very clear definition of who you are. For me, they're a premium brand. They're, spare no expense. If you want the best, this is where you go. And I think they do that really well. I just don't know that is a market, a very, very busy market, Definitely not a market for me. I've bought as many skates out there as I can. I can't justify paying, the money for an Icon boot. It just seems excessive to me. Sean Michelson. Hey, Sean, see you this weekend. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to finally meet? And 2, how mad will you be if I can't find the juice box to give back to you? Well, I'll say that the only reason that I gave you the juice box is because you were 50/50's biggest fan. And the fact that you didn't know that John had a balance frame definitely kind of shows that you're not the biggest fan. So I don't need the juice box back. It's fine. It's been 24 years. I'm very excited. I'm excited. I think our booths are right next to each other, so I'm excited to see you. I'm excited to hang out, finally meet. I hope that there's no physical challenge. I am 46. You are a ninja. There's a very big difference between the two of us. I think that will be obvious when we meet face to face. But yeah, definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope everybody out there can live vicariously. I'm planning on doing a little video. Again, it just depends. In my head, I think that I'm going to have enough time to do a little video for the YouTube. In reality, it's probably going to be a few clips that I'll post to Instagram because I'm not going to have enough footage because I'm going to be so busy. But it would be great to do a video, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Pouring Blue 7. Will you have your new boot company at Bitter Cold? Can we get a name of the skates? All your questions will be answered at Bitter Cold. I will say that. You will learn a lot about the direction of this new brand if you come by the booth. Or, to be honest, if you go to Bitter Cold, you'll see us everywhere. It's going to be a really fun show. Corey Hendo, what tools do you keep in your skate bag when you head to the park? That is a great question. We used to make a thing called the Session Saver, and that is a little tackle box that you get. It has parts for everything that could go wrong. So in the Session Saver, this is something that I always bring. In the Session Saver, I have a stick of wax, 2 Allen keys, set of bearings, 2 bearings, frame bolts of a variety of lengths, a bearing spacer, and a set of frame spacers. So things that could go wrong when I'm at this session. Something that I don't have is cuff bolts. I've been skating the them 909s this weekend. The cuff bolts got a little loose on me. Thankfully, I had my Allen key with me and I was able to tighten them. But cuff bolts, definitely something that if we did a new Session Saver, I would add a cuff bolt because people lose cuff bolts a lot. So want to make sure that we can keep skating, and losing a cuff bolt and trying to skate is really difficult. In my bag though, I also keep my camera gear. So I have my GoPro I used to shoot. I have extra batteries for that. I have the audio, the mic that I plug in. It's a battery operated mic. I have my selfie stick, which has a tripod at the bottom. And then I have my, probably unnecessary, my drone that I keep in my pockets, a little Mavic Air. I think it's the Mavic Air. It's a small drone that, the 249 gram one that I get, up and I can get some shots of the environment that I'm skating, things like that. And I also have my, who makes it? Osmo, or no, it's a DJI. Is it DJI? It might be. Yeah, it's DJI. I think it's called I don't know what it's called, but it's one of those little gimbal things. It has a camera in it, a 4K 60 camera. So I do that for my B-roll. So if I'm shooting a skate review, I'll get B-roll of that with my little gimbal so that the quality looks really nice. And then, I merge that with the GoPro footage. That's my skate bag. I've never done a video on skate bag. I don't bring too much. I also bring, a helmet and wrist guards and stuff like that. Good questions. Alejandro Castro. Hey, Alejandro. Hey, Log. Great to see you skating again. I was gifted a set of 95A wheels, and I'm not sure what's the best way to use them. 92, 95, 95, 92, or 88, 95, 95, 88. I usually ride 88s on wood. 95 is hard. 95 is really hard. I think the question is, what are you skating? If I were skating 95A, I would use them as a flat setup mixed with something fairly hard. So I'd probably do 90, 92 on the outside. The reason why you don't want to go too soft on the outside is those 95s really aren't going to wear at all. A lot of people love the 95A wheels because they can get a set of wheels and they'll last them forever. I'm not that guy. I want a wheel that's going to feel good when I'm skating, not necessarily based on price, based on how good they feel. And I don't think skating a 95A anything is going to be a good ride. It's like a Little Rock, it's the Little Rocks. The Little Rocks were 95A, 96A, I think. That was one of the original anti-rocker wheels. So it was a hard wheel that they used for anti-rocker. Using a 95A wheel for anti-rocker doesn't make sense. Using it as a middle wheel, as an anti-rocker wheel, or as a middle wheel when you're skating flat makes a lot of sense. The only problem is if you ride soft wheels on the outside, you're going to wear those soft wheels down a lot faster because the middle wheels really aren't going to wear at all, which means you're going to get a more natural rocker, banana rocker, and then crazy rocker because those outside wheels are going to take all of the damage. It's like skating anti-rocker, but even worse. Maybe worse because you're turning more, because you're able to turn more. So you're really getting more lean on that outside edge of the outside wheels. I would probably go with something a little bit harder. If you have 92s, I would do 92, 95. I see a lot of people skating dead 92, 95s, and they really like it. So that's probably a really good setup. If you have, good knees, or if you're skating a situation where you need hard wheels. Otherwise, I would go down to 92 on the inside, 88 on the outside. I think If you're going to mix hardnesses, that's as much as you need. 92 is probably as hard as you need on the inside, personally. Older bladers, whatever happened to the UFR? It's over here. Oh, here it is. It has not been skated yet. It probably will be skated. Now that I'm skating more big wheel stuff, I will put these on with some compass frames and go out and have a blast. But I definitely haven't skated them yet. First time skating again. I need a minute to get back into skating. Yeah, I hope to go out and skate them. I have a lot of things on my list though. I have the Seba, the tricks that I need to go skate as well. So, and I have another pair of big wheels that I want to unveil. I probably won't do it next time, but I'll do it probably in March. Lots on the plate. This is going to be a busy year. I hope I make it through. Lemon Wedge, with the news on Kaiser's new suspension frames, what's your opinion on previous suspension frames? Really great question. I love the concept of suspension frames. I think progressing how we do what we do is amazing. And, hats off to Powerslide, Matthias, all the guys over there for continuing to invest in their crazy ideas. They did a lot of misses and a lot of hits. And the only way that you're going to do that is if you try. And they've tried so many different things. I think this suspension frame looks great. It is a spiritual successor to physics. Instead of the dual arms, it's a single. Instead of dual, I don't know what they're called, the little suspension, like the bushings. Instead of dual bushings, it's a single bushing. So, it's one in the front, one in the back, instead of two in the front and two in the back. But essentially, it's the same as physics. People loved the physics frames. Not necessarily for jumping gaps. It's not like you could just jump off of anything and it wouldn't be a thing, but for keeping all of your wheels on the ground, for riding over rougher surfaces, for carving around bowls. Those sort of things feel really great with suspension. I'm of the side, though, that you don't really need a suspension frame as much as you need better wheel technology. I think that we should invest more in wheel technology. And, I've brought in 3 new profiles since I come back, looking at different ways that we can do better wheels, better urethanes, more quality, responsive urethane. I think people give 88A a bad rap because a lot of people's 88A wears down fast or it will chunk. I love our 88A. I think the 88A is a great feeling, and I would put up an 88A wheel, a flat, 60, 88, against a flat 60, 92 or whatever suspension frame and see which one you prefer. I bet it would be very similar. And with that, I don't know the need for a suspension frame. When I look at those frames, I see added cost. I see a lot of moving parts. I see proprietary parts that if they break, who fixes them? How do you get replacements? Things like that. It's an amazing concept, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the reviews of people who tried them. But I don't know. I don't have any plans on making a suspension frame. I think that overcomplicating, frame design is not my thing. But kudos to them for trying it. I haven't seen any suspension frames that were really great in the past, that were like, oh, this is a game changer. There's been a bunch that have tried, and I think they all have succeeded to different levels, but it's not something that I think is necessary. I think wheel technology is where we should spend our efforts if we want a more comfy ride. Good question, though. I'll see what I can do. Sean Michelson, you renting a car, or are you needing somebody to scoop you up at midnight? Actually, I have a ride. Thank you so much. I don't know that you were offering or you were just laughing. I do have a ride from the airport. The team is going to be there, so they're going to be helping me out, which is going to be nice. But thank you. Yes, it's going to suck. It's absolutely going to suck. I was really looking forward to getting there. I was going to leave after dropping my kid off on Thursday. I was going to be there around 8 o'clock or so on Thursday. It's a long drive up there, but I was really looking forward to it. And that's not going to happen anymore. Now I get to have a layover in somewhere. I don't even know where I'm laying over in. Hopefully making it through. I hope the weather isn't bad, and I hope I actually make it there. I hope my bag makes it there. It's just things that I didn't want to have to think about, but that's growing up. That's family, You take care of your family, and sometimes you have to make sacrifices. Chris Polly wanted me to bring you some skates, pack some liners. I heard you sold all your skates. I was going to ask you to bring some, but you sold them all. I guess it's too late for me. No, I don't need any skates. Thank you for asking. Ravenous Pathogen, it's a good connection and you've been streaming from the start. Thank you. I don't know why it was yelling at me, but yes, YouTube was yelling at me earlier. Sometimes it does. I do need a better service here. Apparently Google Fiber is coming. I haven't heard back from them. They're in our area, but they're not in our neighborhood yet. So, and I don't know if they're going to stick around either, but if I can get any service that's better than this, I will definitely invest in that. Masquero, hi Law, thank you for all that you do for the community. Could we see an episode about the rise and fall of old famous companies like 976, Scribed Industries, Cosmo, RA Senate, etc.? I would love to do a video like that. That sounds better as something that David over at Wheel Scene would do. There's also, if you're interested in things like that, there's not a real documentary on 976 or on Senate, but if you watch Barely Dead, it's a really good look at kind of the rise and fall of rollerblading in general. There's also, what was the one that just came out recently? Oh, I can't remember what it was called. Rolling Along? Is that what it's called? I think it's called Rolling Along. Another great documentary that covers the rise and fall of rollerblading. Definitely worth looking at. Nothing specific on a company, though. I would love to hear that. And yeah, having interviews with people. I mean, I could see it. I would love to see it. I think it's a lot of work to put together. I definitely don't have the time anymore to do it. But maybe someone like Brandon can do it, or yeah, maybe David or something like that. I would love to see it, though. I would kickstart it even if they wanted $5 or so. I would definitely throw in. Alejandro Northrop, what are your thoughts on the new full carbon Adapt aggressive boot? I tell you what, I mean, there's a lot of people out there with more money than me. I make a pretty good salary, but I don't know that I would ever spend, what was it, $1,200 on an aggressive boot? Lordy. I mean, I can kind of see spending that much on a FSK, like, GTO style boot, because I think those skaters want responsiveness. Those skaters want light, skates. Playing ice hockey, I want the lightest skate that I can. I want to feel like the blades are just, surgically implanted into the bottom of my feet. I don't think the same for aggressive. I love having that light feeling, but I beat the crap out of my skates. And if there's, the biggest problem with skinned skates is as soon as you wear through the skin, you're screwed. And even with my Brutale, I mean, you can see this, my Brutale, you can see the sides already. This is from missing sole grinds. And this is from just falling. That with a carbon shell, jeez, man, you're going to wear the crap out of it, right? I mean, I can't justify that. Now, I'm not the market for it. You might think that I would be, a dude that has a good paying job that can afford, silly stuff. But that just seems excessive to me. More power to them. Like we talked about Icon, there's a market for everyone out there. It's just not me. And I don't know how big that market is. I feel like those adapts are really just a trophy project. Like I want to do this because it's something in the back of my... I mean, I know Peter. I know that he's thinking, I bet I could make this better than anybody else. And he's just out there to do it. And more power to them. Like, if you've got this itch that you need to scratch, that's great. And if there are people out there who will support it, that's absolutely great. From a practical perspective, though, I don't know that those are very practical for aggressive skating. Even just skating skate park, I feel like you're going to damage them so fast. They're aggressive skates. You're getting aggressive with them. You destroy them. The TRS were marketed as bomb-proof. Oh, no, those were oxygen, right? Bomb-proof. These are not bomb-proof if there's exposed carbon all around. But who knows? Maybe I don't understand. Maybe I'm missing something. Marble City Made. Thank you for listening to John Frum about that hat. You should make more. I will. I think this is a great hat. I'm not a hat guy, but I say this a lot about everything that I do, like Chroma, for example. I don't wear Chroma stuff because I'm not that market, but we sell a lot of Chroma stuff. I need to surround myself with people that I trust, who have good taste, and who can make good decisions about stuff. And that, in my eyes, has always been like the quality of a good leader, You're not doing everything. You're finding a team that can do the things that you can't do. And I can't design clothes. John has a very distinct style, and he loves this hat. He loves the style of hat, and he said, hey, find this hat, and I think they'll sell well. So we found the hat, and the response is good. Again, find people that are better than you at things and ask them to help you out with things. That's the secret to my success. One of the secrets. All right, am I done with questions? I've actually gone 90 minutes, which is pretty interesting. Am I all caught up? Nope, a couple more. There's a lot more. Hold on. Scrolling back up. Oh, YouTube is so bad. All right. I just resetted everything. Datter Blading. Any chance we'll ever see a 56 or 55 face profile like the 58s? I'm thinking an anti-skater is scared to go flat. Thinking of the most lenient wheels. Yes, I can show you what they look like. Do I have them here? Ooh. No, I don't have them here. I can show you what they look like. They're not good. And the reason is that they make them so skinny at 56. We made our 56 mil wheel as a face profile. Make them so skinny as a 56 that you start rubbing on the sidewalls of the frames. You need to have wheels that are big enough that you can still manage to not scrape out, slide out on the walls of your frames. So that's why the 56 is more of a rounded 56, more of a flat 56. If you're looking to avoid wheel bite, believe me, the 58 is the way to go. The 58 is the best wheel that we make for avoiding wheel bite skating flat. If you really want to skate flat, you don't trust me about that, go get yourself some Wish frames. I think the Wish frame is the best frame on the market for skating flat and avoiding wheel bite. And the reason why they're able to do that is because they have the biggest split and they've created this grind area that prevents any sort of wheel bite on the inside. The catch is that you need to ride smaller wheels on the inside, bigger wheels on the outside. It's not a big deal, but it is something that you're going to have to deal with if you want to ride Wish frames. But it's worth it. If you want to skate flat, a lot of people skate Wish frames flat. They are a really great frame for skating flat. I highly recommend them. Mark Metzger, I'm skating Kaiser Fluid 5s flat with stock USD 57 mil wheels. Would you recommend 58 or 60s when I replace them? Also, when will prime axles ever be in the Compass frames? Prime axles won't be in the Compass frames. Compass is Compass, and Fitty makes core axles. So no, and honestly, I like that the Compass frames have 2 Allen keys. I think one-sided Allen key is a great premium look, but we get some returns because people over-tighten them, or they don't push them all the way in, and they start turning, and the one-sided thing scrapes the outside of the frame wall. It's a little finicky, and I've damaged frames by doing that. I don't want anybody out there buying a product and damaging them like that. So I think the 50/50 frames, will always have them. I think there's a lot of frames out there that have one-sided axles that work really well, but I don't see Compass doing that, not yet at least. As for your wheel selection, I think 58s is the way to go. I would recommend, obviously, our Chroma 58s. I think that's a really great wheel for what you need. If you're looking for something else, the dead 58s are another good option. Yeah, Fluid 5s, I think those are probably best. I didn't really like the Fluid 5s with the 50/50 face wheel 58s, and the reason was that Fluid 5, do I have Fluid 5 here? I do. The Fluid 5 has a very wide frame channel, so these walls come out very far. If you look at this compared to a balance frame, it's kind of hard to compare. Oh, I can go like this, I guess. So you can see the walls come out very far, whereas with the balance frame, they're rounded, and they make them a little bit skinnier at the bottom. The problem is that if you're trying to skate a 56 or a smaller wheel, you can see on mine, in fact, that you scrape a lot on the side of the walls. Now, once you wear the side of the walls down, you can even see back here, scraping on the side of the walls. Once you wear the side of the walls down, it's easier and you won't have that problem. But fresh out of the box, you're gonna get a lot of wall bite or wall slide, I guess, if you're skating wheels that are too small. These are 60s and they're close. I think I was skating these, yeah, these are 60s, yeah. I was skating these and they were rubbing. 58s would rub even more. I would probably go with something round, round 58, even round 60 would be fine. Wasn't a huge fan of those frames. I don't like to talk ill on frames, but it feels like that wall is the biggest problem. A lot of people slide out. And, if the solution to skating a frame is, well, you've got to go do, power slides for an hour on a rough cement so that you wear down the wall, that's not great. Other than that, the frames are good, but, if the first hour or so you're going to slip out when you're doing strides, that's not great. Mr. Darren 25, if you had an opportunity to compete in this ASA again, would you do it? No, I wouldn't do it at my age. I sometimes have these fantasies of skating at Blading Cup in the over 40. I feel like that could be fun. I don't know. I'm not really big into competitions anymore. I kind of take competition a little seriously, and I shouldn't. I love just going out there and having fun rollerblading, but if there's a competition, I want to do good. I probably would take it too seriously. But who knows? Maybe. Never say never, right? Maybe when there's an over 50, over 50 in 4 years, and I'll be competing, that would be fun. Bernadette Tookie, have you ever skated the Chris Farmer's Way too? I did. I have them, yeah. I like the Chris Farmer's Way too. They were a great skate. I didn't like the stock liners. I felt like the liners were a little too thick for me, a little too restrictive for me. Swapping out the liners though, they were a great sway. I liked the new sole plate. I prefer the older sole plate. The groove is a little bit better, but the look and feel of this is a lot better. Overall, I recommend the sways. I think they're a great skate. The Farmers are good. 45-degree strap, can't go wrong with that. I like the colorway. Yeah, they're great. I definitely recommend them. I think you can get them on sale right now, as they're fairly older. They came out last summer, so you can probably get some good closeouts. Definitely a highly recommended boot. Jason York, any hope for a black version of the Chroma team wheel? Yeah, we've thought about it. I don't know if we're going to come out with one. I think white wheels are white wheels. We'll see. Yeah, I never say never. If there's demand, we'll definitely do it. The goal of that wheel is make a wheel for everybody. Most people like white wheels, so that's what we'll probably stick with. But again, never say never. Might happen. GM Coolman, the 50/50 are overall plastic. Are you planning to make aluminum frames for bigger wheels such as 80 millimeters? Not through 50/50. I think 50/50 is always going to be an aggressive frame company, and anything over 65 is a little too big for aggressive. Now, You can get away with, like a Aeon 72 and call it aggressive. I would probably call that more of a freestyle urban sort of setup. Wish frames may be the exception where they have 72s on the outside, but they have 60s on the inside. Kind of hard to say, but I think 65 is as big as we would ever go. I would love to make a flat 65 frame. I think that would be a lot of fun. But if you're skating big wheels, if you're going out cruising your neighborhood or whatever, there's a lot of good options out there. For an 80 millimeter UFS frame, Compass makes a great one. They are plastic. They are $65, I think. They are UFS quality frame. You can get a ground control frame or a what is the Sola frame. They're 80 millimeter frames. They're aluminum. So there's a lot of options out there right now. They're all around $100 or so. So there's a lot of options. I would probably stick with, spend what you want. But I can't see Fitty Fitty making a frame like that. It's just not right for the brand. But good question. Rygar, we can have lunch with Long when I come through. Long is an hour and a half away from here now. Long used to be in Raleigh, but he's out in Dunn now, which is an hour and a half drive from Durham. I do see Long on occasion. He came out to one of the open houses, skated the mini, and it was a lot of fun catching up. But I don't see Long very often anymore. There was a time when I would see him probably every other week or so, either at a session or I would stop by the shop. But that was when he was in Raleigh. Now he's a little far for me to visit. I haven't actually gone and visited his shop yet. I hope to in the next month or so. Scrolling. Rygar, when are the backpacks going to be in stock? It's a good question. I've gotten a lot of questions about that lately. Unfortunately, the backpack pricing is a little bit high right now. We wanted to bring back the backpacks last year, but we couldn't afford it, especially with the COVID issues. Material costs were high, shipping costs were even higher. It was very expensive. Now we're trying to negotiate and get our prices back down, but personally, our backpacks, if we brought them in at the price that we wanted to, they would end up being around $100 in stores. And I feel like that's a little high for a backpack. I tried to nail them at $90 last time. I want to figure out a way that we can make a backpack for a little bit less than that. I know that they're worth it, but I feel like for this market, I want to make a skate backpack that's a little bit more affordable. So until I can figure out how to do that, we won't have a backpack. I'm looking into it though. We're working on a new design and hope to get that price down. So stay tuned. Nothing to report today, but hopefully by summer we'll have some new backpacks available. Zach Markham, I can still find those session savers in stock in some online store like Roll Warehouse. Didn't know you didn't make them anymore. We don't. And the reason is that they come with axles, and the axles were the old Fitty Fitty Balance 1 axles. We don't make the Balance 1 frame anymore, so we have a limited supply of those axles, and we ran out of the axles. So until we can make a standard axle again, we won't have those session savers. It's just not, there's no point if we don't have a replacement axle, because an axle is one of the things that people lose. So I want to make sure that I have, something in the box for everybody who could lose something when they're out on a session. And if we don't make axles, then we can't do that. Same boat, what is the best fix for cuff receivers on the 908 being accidentally ripped out, and is it possible to install the 909 receivers on the 908? It is not possible to go back and forth. The 909 has a rockerable cuff bolt. So the inside of the 909, where'd they go? You might be able to see this. Oh, I didn't set up my light. I usually have a light here. You can see it kind of. So this little cuff bolt in here, right there, that is, as you can see, more of like a pill shape instead of a circle. The 908 was a circle. This is custom for the 909. So it is a custom cuff receiver, and you have to use those. There's no other way to, as far as I could tell, there's no other way to get a cuff bolt that fits with the 909s. Your question, best fix for cuff receivers being ripped out from the 908. I think the 908 were fairly standard, so you can probably get replacement cuff bolts from a lot of places. I know that Oak City has a bunch. I don't know where you are calling from, but call your local skate shop and see if they have extra cuff bolts for you. Tell them what happened, and they should be able to help you out. Rocket Off-Road, yo, what's up, Law? First time catching your live on Back to Blading. Great to have you. Thanks for joining us. If you got a question, make sure that you tag me. I'm flying through. It's 10:45 here, making it through. I don't know how many more questions there are, but I'm doing my best. Terra Rise, do you do frames for big size feet? I'm size 45, but my frames are shorter for the boot I was wondering if there are frames that are longer so I can keep my balance. It's a good question. 45 is probably fine for the large frame. Those are 270 millimeter. That's the ones that most large frames are 270. We do make for 50/50, we make a 290. It is a very large frame. It is designed for a size 46 and up. And we only make them through the 3D printing wall technology. So the core system is available in 290, and then we can 3D print you a wall that will fit you 290. There are many wall options out there. There are a lot of designers who have come up with 290 millimeter walls. And if you go to coreframemarket.com, you can find more information about that. If you're looking for a long frame, I don't know who else would make a long frame. I've heard that the new rollerblades are coming in a long frame. I think that's right. You can get rollerblade blank frames in a long frame. I want to say Kaiser or maybe Ground Control make a long frame. There's not a lot of long frames right now, though. If you want a really long frame or a real stable frame, I think your options are pretty limited, unfortunately. But if you're interested, the 290 core system is really great. I will say it's a little heavier because the 3D printed material is not super light, but you do have a lot of great options out there because there's a lot of great designers on the market. Austin Paz, hey Austin, I've been skating for 27 years and still don't know what wheel durometers really are. I know 88A is softer than 90A, but what does it all mean? How is this all measured? It is measured with a tool called a durometer. It is an actual tool that I have over there that at least mine, looks kind of like the Google Maps icon. So when you stick the icon in the map that says drop a pin, this is where I am. It looks like that, and the tip of it is like a pin that is on a spring. You push the pin into the wheel, into the urethane, and it measures how stiff that material is based on how much the spring responds. And it gives you a number. The scale that we typically use for wheels is the A scale, the Shore A scale. So it is just like saying Celsius, just like saying Fahrenheit. It is a range, however, so you can't have, like Fahrenheit, it can go all the way up to like 300, 400, 500, like you can keep going up. The Shore A scale stops at 100. So 100 is super, super, super hard for the Shore A scale. Most of our wheels, 85 is usually the softest, 95 usually the hardest. They'll make anti-rocker wheels, which they say is 101A. Really, it's not 101A because the Shore A scale stops at 100. It is possible to measure on something different, and there's a Shore D scale. So the Shore D scale, I think it starts at 0 and goes to 100, but 50D, or let me say, so the Chroma anti-rocker wheels were 75D. That equated to like 125 or so A. So it's just a different scale for measurement. If you get super, super hard, you start measuring in D. What does it all mean? The softer the wheel, typically a few characteristics that you'll get, and you'll start changing characteristics as they get harder. Softer means more bouncy. Softer means more grippy. And softer means that they'll wear a little bit faster. Harder means less bounce, so more solid, which is why they're great for anti-rocker wheels. Harder means less bounce. So that's why you don't want to skate anti-rocker on 95A. And harder means they'll last longer. The harder the wheel, they're like little pebbles. So when you're skating down the street, you're really not going to rub anything off because the wheels aren't really doing what they do. None of the surface is going into the urethane and rubbing it because the urethane is so hard that it can't. I always recommend, if you're average weight, average height, you're skating skate park or something like that, 88A is probably where you want to go. If you're a little heavier, you might want to go a little bit harder, 90A or so. If you're skating street or you're skating rougher spots, 90, 92A is probably where you want to go. Anywhere between there is a sweet spot. We made some 85A aggressive wheels. They were amazing to skate, super fast, super bouncy, super fun, but they wore down super fast. On the flip side, Dead makes a 95A, which is super hard. People love skating them mixed with, a flat setup with softer wheels on the outside. And they're never going to wear down, but they're really, really hard. So if you're skating those, you'll feel every little bump, every little crack. That's kind of the range that I would go in. Reason why we did the Chroma 58s at 90A is because it's a really good all-around number. 90A, in my eyes, is kind of the perfect balance between anything. Regardless of what you want to skate, you'll get good grip, good durability, good wear, good bounce. 90A is the way to go. Great, great, great question. A lot of good questions tonight. I've enjoyed doing this question night. Zach Markham, any designs planned for Pride Month? Really loved the wheels from last year. It's a good question. So Pride Month is in June. Nothing planned yet. Not to say that we won't, but I've got a lot of plates spinning right now. The Chroma wheel that we did last year, absolutely loved that. I thought, again, it's an important thing that we can bring some attention to. We were able to donate $300, I think, to the Trevor Project. I'm not sure what the number ended up being. Maybe it was more than that. Maybe it was like $500. I love that we're able to do projects like that. Yes, I want to do something with Chroma. I don't know what it's going to be this year, though. I've got some ideas. It just depends on if I have the time to implement them. But great question, and thanks for the reminder. Zach Markham, Jimmy the Giant has done a few great videos about rollerblading, including Rise and Fall of the Sport. Agreed. Jimmy the Giant's great as well. Parkour dude turned YouTuber. It feels like he really gets rollerblading. He's a welcome addition to our community. All right, is that it? Oh, and it reloaded again. The chat is moving so fast tonight. All right, is that it? Yep, okay, I'm getting close. Adam, a 90s flashback question. Did you ever play the 3 Extreme game that allows you to choose between blader, skateboarder, and BMXer? If so, how did you like it? Never played it. The first time I ever saw it was when Scott Crawford posted it a couple weeks ago and said, "What the F? Why am I on the cover of this video game?" So I've never seen it before. I need to find a copy and play it. I've got rolling here, I've got aggressive inline, and I've got Jet Set Radio Future, and all on my Xbox. So we'll have sessions someday. Haven't done it yet. We'll have sessions someday where we'll have Grindbox and then we'll have the video game playing so people can hang out on the half pipe and play the video game. Haven't done that yet, but I'm looking forward to the day that I can. Bernadette Tukey, but if Adapt is making the best skate like that, like a high quality skate, then besides the price, is there anything wrong with it? Adapt is okay. I skated Adapts for a long time. If you got the money, get the best skates for you. I always felt like the Adapt skate fit my feet the best and absolutely loved skating them. They're light, they're comfortable. The only negatives to Adapts in my eye from a skate perspective is that they are very stiff. And you need to be a pretty good rollerblader in order to do all of your tricks on an Adapt skate versus, a typical plastic cuff skate. It really boils down to the cuff. That cuff area is very stiff. But if you're good enough and you've got the money, they're really comfortable skates. So definitely no reason not to. Great question. Law versus Jason Marshall Game of Skate 2023. Thanks, Sean. I don't know when I'm going to see Jason again. We skated a little bit in Santa Ana a couple years back. And yeah, it was really fun skating with Jason again. I think I have a better vocabulary. And, you know, right now he's not skating very much, so it's not really fair to pick on him. But I think I could take him. I don't know. We'll see. Scott Crawford, I'll compete with you. All right, Scott, we'll see. I got to get down to Australia and visit. I don't know that I would ever be able to beat you at anything. But what do I have that you don't have? I mean, every trick that I have, you have. So that's going to be maybe I'm more consistent. I don't know. I haven't seen you skate lately. Maybe while you're injured, I'll be able to, to take you over. But I haven't skated, so I'm really out of shape. I don't know. We'll have to find a time. We'll find a time. I'll put it on my calendar. Benjamin Sanders, excited to see the Yandi Pro at VCSD. Yes, so thanks for the super chat. Yandi will be at Bitter Cold. So he's going to come out. We will have his frames out there with his wheels. You can see the full setup as well as all the other frames out there. It's going to be a really fun show. I cannot wait to share with everybody all the things that we've got going on. Riger will try to plan lunch. Sounds good. I will make the drive if I can. If you're going to be around, I'll drive on out and say hey. Lee White, have you had any frame companies, Ground Control, Kaiser, Create Original, contact about doing a prime frame? I haven't, but I will share a story that I heard from the guys over at the new Everything company, TNEC. They were using the core system to develop their frame. And they asked me about making a frame for it, frame wall for it. And I told them, you know, if you're going to make a frame, it's probably best, like at the time the prime frames probably sold like 500, maybe 1,000 sets. And I said, you know, looking at it strictly from a business perspective, would you be able to make your frame without using the core system? If you can make the frame the same, you know, specifications without using the core system, why would you use the core system? And the main reason that I was against him doing it was that we only sold 1,000. So, you know, I didn't know what the future of the project is. We probably sold more than that now, but if you're selling a frame, you're investing in a mold. You have to bring in hundreds of frames. Do you want to sell to 1,000 people? Or do you want to sell to all the people? I would want to sell to all the people, you know? Don't limit yourself to just the 1,000 people who already have prime frames. So, and, you know, obviously he was able to come out with, he made the right decision in my eyes, and he was able to come out with a really cool frame for skating flat, which, you know, if you haven't seen the new everythingcompany.com, I think, really cool frame. They have these custom axles that spell out TNEC. It's not for everybody, but I think it's pretty awesome that they were able to make it happen. And yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about the frame. I think Lino really likes it, so that's saying something. But no, I haven't heard anything from any of the big companies. I did hear something from one of the developers at one of the companies, designers at one of the companies who wanted to design a frame wall for a different project. So loosely related, but not an official release for it. And it's for the same reason. You know, my market isn't huge. The amount of people who are skating core system compatible frames isn't huge. Maybe someday it will be, but now, you know, it isn't huge. Rocket Off-Road, are there any V-cut options for the Fifth Element? Good question. Fifth Element. So here's the fifths. Now the thing about the fifths is they don't have a replacement cuff. You know, you are riveted on. The negative to that is you can't replace them. The positive is nobody ever loses a cuff bolt from a Rossi skate. Probably a good thing, but if you wanted to replace the cuff, it is a bad thing. I don't know of any V-cut. I think the best thing for you to do is get yourself a Dremel or an X-Acto knife and go to town and cut yourself a V-cut. What does the M12 cuff look like? So these are the low cut ones. Are they the same? These are the same cuffs. Yeah. I don't know what the other cuffs look like for Rossi's, but this one might be a little difficult to cut because it comes up here. But yeah, if you wanted a V-cut, I don't know that these are the skates for you. There's a lot of good skates out there that have a good V-cut though. Yeah, I think if you wanted to do a V-cut on a Fifth Element, the best way to do it is just Dremel yourself a V into it and make it happen. You can probably do a pretty good job with it too with a Dremel if you take your time. Draw it out first and then, follow your sketch. Good luck. Luis Pascal Gomez, when can we know more about your new skates? I am looking forward to it. I will share that we'll have some more information this weekend. So if you're at Bitter Cold, make sure that you come by the booth. We'll have some information to share on the new project. And then I'll talk about it on Gear Talk in 2 weeks. Are we done? Nope, we're not done yet. Almost done. 3 more. Austin, will you ever make a 50-50 shirt that says Fitty Fitty on it? I would love to. My wife would love to. So my AOL name, so back in AIM days, my AOL screen name was FIDY. That was my if you knew that, I know Sean knows that, but if you knew that and we were friends back then, FIDY was my name. I would chat with my wife, then girl that I was dating, and she would call me Fitty Fitty. And her friends would see, who are you chatting with? Oh, it's Fitty Fitty. And that's what they would say, Fitty Fitty. And I don't know why I always said Fitty Fitty. That's just the way that it always comes out. When I would pick up the phone and I was answering calls, it would always say, hey, Fitty Fitty, this is Lawrence. That's the way that I would always answer. It would be awesome to do a shirt. I think that would be really funny. And I know that I would sell one to my wife, but she probably wouldn't pay for it. I'd have to give it to her. It's a good question, though. Thank you. It's a good suggestion. Adama, I played it when I was a kid and loved it. It was more of a racing game with rails and ramps included. Oh, okay, so this is a 3 Extreme. I'll see if I can find it. I would love to do that. I know Brandon does a lot of streaming of video games. I'd love to do that, especially if I ever got hurt and I wanted to still do content. That's a good way to do it. I haven't been able to yet, but I've got all the games. I got to play through them again, so I'm looking forward to it, especially Jet Set Radio Future. That was so much fun. I had Jet Grind Radio on Dreamcast, and that was what got me back into video gaming, actually. So I don't know what it was, but I saw the game, and I bought a Dreamcast just for that game. And then after that, I was hooked on gaming, and I got really into Dreamcast. And then I got, right after that was when Xbox came out, the first Xbox, and then GameCube came out. And they were like a week apart, and I remember getting both systems, and I was so stoked. And all I was doing was gaming. That was like serious. And that was right around the time when they started working on the Rolling the Game video game. And that was when Julio got really into gaming as well, which is why his UFS frame, his black with gray or with tan UFS frame, his patch for Fitty Fitty frame had him playing video games. I drew that. I traced him out and I drew the little console with the wires going to the TV and everything. One of my favorite patches. I loved that, and he wanted to have a picture of him playing video games. I thought it was amazing that he did that. Very different times, but yeah, gaming was really big for us back then. It was probably early 2000, 2002 or so, 2001, give or take. All right, I think I got through it all. I love you all. This was a great night. The short night ended up being another 2-hour video, but I said I would get through it all, and I got through it all. Hope everybody's doing good out there. I know that Winter Clash was a COVID fest, and I apologize that I can't fix COVID for you. I wish I could. I hope nobody got super sick. I hope nobody out there ended up in the hospital or anything. But I will be masking at Bitter Cold. I know that it's probably embarrassing to some of you, but for me, I don't care. I have way too much on my plate right now to get sick. You know, my wife still has an injured knee, and you know, I'm like the sole caregiver at the house, so I have to make sure that I can drive the kids to school, take care of the dogs, take care of my wife, take care of the business, take care of my job. Can't afford to get sick. So I will be masking at Bitter Cold. If it makes you feel any better, know that I will be masking at Bitter Cold. If I have any poll here, I recommend that people wear masks at Bitter Cold. I don't think that Bitter Cold will be as bad with the COVID and with the flu and with all the things as Winter Clash was. It is not as much of an enclosed area. It is not all different areas of Europe. It is not you know, a 3-day thing. It is a single day thing. But I really don't want people to get sick if they don't have to. I want you to have a great impression and memory of this coming weekend. So do your best to wear a mask. Make sure that you know, do proper social distancing. Take care of yourself. Get yourself boosted if you haven't already. I don't want anybody else to get sick. So, but I will be there. I'm very excited about it. I, again, am flying up on Friday. I'll be there all day Saturday, and then I fly back on Sunday. So if you are coming out, please, please, please stop by and say hey. Even if it's just to say, hey, I watch your videos and I don't like you. It's fine. Like, I just want to meet you. I know there are people out there. I don't get out much to these events. And this is the last Bitter Cold we're going to have, apparently. So I want to make sure that we make the most of it. Everybody can see each other, say hi. And if you are watching this now and you're going out there, I'd love to meet you. Just a reminder, you know, the Fitty Fitty stuff, the Chroma stuff drops on Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern. We will be shipping soft goods starting next week. Frames and wheels will come out in March. We've got a big spring planned. So stay tuned on all of the socials. We'll be doing a lot of product drops. I'm feeling really confident about this year. I don't know if you've picked up on, but I've picked up on the amount of people who are coming back into blading and saying, hey, I'm just getting back in. I can't believe I stopped doing this. I'm getting a lot more emails. I'm getting more emails now than I did this time last year, which is a really good sign. It means that, you know, the COVID boom that we had definitely dying down, but maybe there's a seasonal, hey, I'm getting back into it. I'm bored over winter and I want to do something that keeps me healthy. This is a great exercise for that. And I hope that there are more people coming back into it because we could really use it, especially the shops out there, selling more skates, getting more inventory moving so that us companies, us brands can keep bringing out new stuff. It sucks to have stuff sitting because people can't buy it. So hoping that we can get through this, hoping that this summer is going to be a huge one so that we can just roll right through. It's always a good feeling. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Really appreciate you. Be safe out there. Hope you get a chance to go out and skate. And I'll see you again in 2 weeks.